in World War II, this country could use its news media to propagandize and make the whole American public love the Germans and the Japanese, rather love the Russians and the Chinese and hate the Germans and the Japanese. And then after the war, they changed it and made the American public love the Germans and love the Japanese, hate the Russians and hate the Chinese, which shows that they can make the American public love whom they will and hate whom they will.
Like me,
that's how we
talk to
invested
the slaves.
Land-grant colleges like Michigan
They didn't
State.
kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro.
I want a glass of water.
He dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food as master.
This is not just a plan to hand over $700 billion of your money to a few banks. If this is managed correctly, we will hopefully get most or all of our money back. We might even turn a profit on the government's investment. Every penny of which will go directly back to you, the investor. The rescue plan now includes these four principles. It also includes a proposal I made yesterday morning to expand federal deposit insurance for families and small businesses across America who've invested their money in our banks. This will give a boost to small businesses, making our banking system.
Who lived in huts, had nothing to lose.
Where do we go from here?
They wore the worst kind of clothes.
Well, I'm still waiting for my
They ate the worst food, and they caught hell.
Somebody
They felt the
obviously
sting
didn't
of the
hear.
lash. They hated their master.
Hold
Yes,
on
they
a second.
did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died.
There we go.
If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes.
Now, I'm going to talk about this. Everybody settle down. This is a fight.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
Never let your enemy tell you how many of you there are. Never let the man that you're against form your opinions. This is the trick that's played on everyone who's oppressed. The first thing, an occupation, when you have a revolution in the country, the first thing you take over is the radio. And then you start telling the people, everybody, the war is over. Once they take that over, they start telling you where you are and where they are, and you fall right in line. It's plain thought control. The majority of the American people aren't segregationists. That the majority of the American people aren't imperialists. But the government is, the structure is, the power faction is. So, how then do all the majority go along with it? Because those who sit in power over the television, over the radio, and over the press is constantly telling those who are the masses how free they are.
500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office. Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly
We'll find that all these modern methods of trickery that they have perfected to a science will be used, and we will be maneuvered into thinking that we're getting freedom or thinking that we're making progress when actually we will be going back. The world press, as well as the American press, can make the victim of a crime look like the criminal and can make the criminal himself look like he's the victim. You don't think that this is possible for someone to do that to your mind.
You've got some polling on what costs the Democrats in 2024 laid out.
With skillful manipulating of the press, they're able to make the victim look like the criminal, and the criminal look like the victim. Right now, in New York, we had a couple cases where police grabbed the brother and beat him unmercifully, and then charged him with assaulting them. They use the press to make it look like he's the criminal and they're the victim. This is how they do it. And if you study how they do it here, then you'll know how they do it over here. It's the same game going all the time.
That there's been sort of some reversion, that some of that support for Trump has probably been fallen back over the course of the first couple months of his
Donald
presidency.
Trump is not an anomaly. He's not a disruptor of the status quo. He is the status quo. Donald Trump-style politics is what they've always known.
The crisis at the border is ramping up as the end of Title 42, a pandemic-era policy, approaches. The Biden administration is
another example at the international level of how skillfully they use this trickery was in the Congo. In the Congo, airplanes were dropping bombs on African villages. African villages don't have a defense against bombs, and the pilot can't tell who the bomb is being dropped upon. When a bomb hits the village, everything goes. And these pilots
is subject to at least a 5-year
filled with driving flying planes filled with bombs, dropping these bombs on African villages, were destroying women, were destroying children, were destroying babies. You ever heard any outcry over here about that?
Spreading misinformation to migrants that the border is open.
In the sun, shine in, let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in, let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
My soul is as ready to escape as my body.
Fear is why you fail.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm angry.
Why do we fall? You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. It makes you weak without the most powerful impulse of the spirit. The fear of death.
I fear dying in here while my city burns. There's no one there to save it.
Then make the climb.
What does that mean?
Rise.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics. The son-in-law of John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, used the phrase Tree of Liberty in a 1787 letter to William Stephen Smith. I do not know whether it is to yourself or Mr. Adams I am to give my thanks for the copy of the new Constitution. I beg leave through you to place them where due. It will be yet 3 weeks before I shall receive them from America. There are very good articles in it, and very bad. I do not know which preponderate. What we have lately read in the history of Holland, in the chapter on the stadtholder, would have sufficed to set me against a chief magistrate eligible for a long duration if I had ever been disposed towards one. And what we have always read of the elections of Polish kings should have forever excluded the idea of one continuable for life. Wonderful is the effect of impudent and persevering lying. The British ministry have so long hired their gazetteers and repeat and model into every form lies about our being in anarchy. The world has at length believed them. English nation has believed them. The ministers themselves have come to believe them. And what is more wonderful? We have believed them ourselves. Yet, where does this anarchy exist? Where did it ever exist except in the single instance of Massachusetts? And can history produce an instance of rebellion so honorably conducted? I say nothing of its motives. They were founded in ignorance, not wickedness. God forbid we should ever be 20 years without such a rebellion. The people cannot be all and always well-informed. The part which is wrong will be discontented in proportion to the importance of the facts they misconceive. If they remain quiet under such misconceptions, it is lethargy, the forerunner of death to the public liberty. We have had 13 states independent, 11 years. There has been one rebellion. That comes to one rebellion in a century and a half for each state. What country before ever existed a century and a half without rebellion? And what country can persevere its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that their people preserve the spirit of resistance? Let them take arms. The remedy is to set them right as to facts, pardon and to pacify them. What signify few lives lost in a century or two? The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure. Our convention has been too much impressed by the insurrection of Massachusetts. And in the spur of the moment, they are setting up a kite to keep the hen yard in order. I hope in God this article will be rectified before the new Constitution is accepted.
Don't worry. Nothing is going to fundamentally change when I'm president. That's right.
Neither you, Simon Peter, nor Judas, nor the Romans, nor the 12, nor the priests, nor the scribes, nor the Pharisees can understand what helps. Understand what power is. Understand what glory is. Understand at all. We have been spattered with innocent blood. We have been dragged through the slime and the mud. We have been spattered with innocent blood. We have been dragged through the slime and the mud. Starting with the Native Americans, then enslaving the African Americans, then invading the Middle Eastern countries for oil, profit, resources, funneling the wealth to the elite oligarchs who have claimed a centralized banking system that holds us all in slavery. Did we do this on purpose or merely for convenience? Is a centralized bank so fun, isn't it? I mean, I give them pesos and then they give me dollars. But what's the catch? The catch is we're all sharecroppers in a free land, a land called the United States of America, where we were supposed to be born free, with liberty and a pursuit of happiness that drives us to a rugged individualist mentality of success and supremacy. Hearts, minds, and bodies working together for the good of democracy and freedom. Is this where we're at now? Or are we making negotiations of our values? Are we accepting life as it has been given us, not fighting back? Are we tired of politics? Are we tired of all the crap that's going on? I'm tired of it too, guys. I'm tired of politics as well. And you know what? That's why I started Tommy Nation Politics. Because I am tired of politics. Politics is fake. It's rhetoric that is used to satiate poor people and trick them into thinking that things are going to change when nothing will fundamentally change. And you tell that to your owners. That's what politics is. Trump did one good thing with his presidency. He tore the beautiful veil from the face of our ugly political system, our systemically racist, completely corrupt political system. He tore all of the conventional wisdom and social norms veneers off of it. All of the nice, flighty, fanciful words that Barack Obama spoke as he was drone striking 8 countries, and burning to a cinder families, and farmers. He ripped it all off. It's all unraveling, this illusion. Meanwhile, some of us are making decisions based out of fear that try to keep us as slaves. I've said this once before when Barack Obama was president. Harriet Tubman must have had to pull some niggas to freedom. I'm going to pull y'all to freedom too. You guys are not going to hear the end of this. For 4 years, I will reveal everything Joe Biden is. He will be exposed. Now, the mainstream media doesn't think so. The mainstream media spent 4 years, first of all, questioning the election of Donald Trump, wondering if it was the Russian interference and Putin and the Kremlin. Then they whipped together with the CIA and the spooks of the unelected deep state a phony Russiagate scandal and a dossier called the Steele dossier, where they claimed that Trump was being peed on by Russian hookers. Did anyone see this tape? No. Is the tape real? No. Was it all lies? Yes. They say Trump lies. But they lie. Constantly. They were so desperate to get him out. Why? Why were they so desperate to get Trump out? Isn't he a good old boy? Isn't he an oligarch? That's what I thought. Then he started talking about the military-industrial complex and how they won't let him get out of Syria. Then they lied about the gas attacks was Assad, saying Assad gassed his own people, when clearly we were the ones that did it. We did it. Big surprise, right? We also, without the president's permission, funneled food trucks. We packed food trucks full of arms, weapons. The CIA did this and tried to push them through Venezuela to do a coup so they could appoint a president that was unelected by anyone in Venezuela. It almost worked, except for the fact that nobody in Venezuela recognized him as the president, and he was out his ass, and he was like, hey, I'm the president. No, we don't know who the fuck you are. Yeah, that's right, guys. It's all unraveling. Nobody's buying our bullshit anymore, except for a few of us. They're called partisans. Now, you must be at brunch, liberal partisans, thinking that Joe Biden is now going to restore democracy and give us great standing in the world as it once was with Barack Obama's expansion of the war, drone striking programs. I mean, I already heard today, The View. Everybody's so happy that his head of the Homeland Security and his Secretary of Defense is going to be a woman. Oh my God, now women are going to be able to drone strike 8 different countries and burn families alive. Oh my God, that's diversity, isn't it? I just can't get past the fact that you guys don't give a shit about families dying, people in slavery in Gaza, our own countrymen starving as they slip into poverty. All you give a shit about is identity politics and the fact that Joe Biden's gonna now let women bomb the Middle East. I mean, it's so funny because I guess my eyes are open and the mainstream media isn't even pretending anymore that we're doing all of these things. They're literally saying we are. It's just gonna be done by women now, and gays, and black people. We're gonna have a diverse cabinet of murderers and psychopaths. It's gonna be so great. And I'm listening to them, and I'm like, wow, you guys are psychos. Get out of the fucking Middle East. We have no business being there. But you guys hear the same shit, and you say to yourselves, oh my God, girl power. We're gonna bomb the Middle East with women now. Like, wow. Well, I got news for you guys. I'm not a Republican. I'm not going to be, just because I think the election was rigged, because it was. They've been rigging the election for 4 years with the things I just listed. The phony Russiagate scandal, the dossier, funneled billions of dollars into TV ads. They've made alliances with oligarchs and elitists all over the world to get Donald Trump out of office. That I don't even know why, honestly. What, I mean, was it worth it? For control, maybe. But I will say this. The Republicans now don't want to vote in elections because they think they're rigged. They won't vote in the runoff elections in Georgia. Guys, that's exactly what the establishment wants you to do. The establishment wants you to give up. The establishment wants you to be tired of politics. The establishment wants you to not focus, not expose, and not think freely. When you're not doing that, they have all the power. Then they can do whatever they want. There's no dissent. Everyone doesn't care about politics anymore. Everybody's so tired of politics. Nobody cares. The elections are rigged. I guess we're just going to give up exactly what they want. Because then there's no dissent. There's no voices. There's no one to stop them from doing whatever the fuck they want to do. So, that's a bad decision, Republicans. If I were you, I'd get my ass to Georgia right now and vote in those runoff elections. Rigged or not. Because that's your fucking civic duty. We have another civic duty, too. When tyranny shows its head, cut it off with the blood of liberty. The tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants. I have been spattered with innocent blood. I have been dragged through the slime and the mud. But I will not be the one that gives up. I will be the one that declares war on you. War is coming. Establishment, you might think that you won. We got Bernie Sanders to genuflect to a corporatist neoliberal warmonger. You might have thought you won when you had all of the black people in South Carolina literally put their Uncle Tom hats on and give Joe Biden the last place guy in the primaries, the nomination of Democratic Party. You might have thought you won when you lined up all of your mainstream media cronies and decided to do a phony Russiagate scandal. You might have thought you won when you inflicted unconstitutional mandates and curfews under the guise of a pandemic safety. You might have thought you won when you got a CARES Act that funneled upward transfer of wealth not seen since the Gilded Age, while you pretended to give enhanced unemployment to poor people, never before seen, so plentiful, to take care of the American people. You might have thought you won with your tricks. But I have declared war on you. The war is here. And I will not stop. You will go down, establishment. You're going down. You're going down. I'm going to open some eyes, and you can't ban us all from Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to make more of me. Me. It's purpose that drives us, mister. Purpose that defines us. Purpose that guides us. It's purpose.
And fear will slide you again.
We're going to bring this matrix to its fucking knees. Domination politics. I declare war on you. Free thinking, innovative, open-minded. I dreamed thousands of millions of Americans. They were voting for the duopoly, not for you and me. I thought, fuck it, why not just start revolution? We tried to do it in the party's eyes, but what a great surprise. 'Cause then they thought they could rig a primary again. They tried to rig that bitch with superdelegates. Then I saw thousands of millions vote for a celebrity apprentice. Then I heard them mentioning his name. I thought they were fucking, well, insane. And I still do, guys. That was Pilot's Dream from Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ Superstar, do you think you're what they say you are? Well, the velvet cage has come off the decorum and conventional wisdom and the social norms. The chains, it appears, the strings, as it were, are on us. But me, guys, I've got no strings. I've got no strings to hold me down. I'm not a partisan. I won't make you frown. Y'all have strings, but as you can see, there are no strings on me. Are you someone who doesn't bend to the will of the conventional wisdom? Someone who rebels, questions authority, who doesn't watch the mainstream media, go along with all the bandwagon mentality, and manufacture consent for the establishment? Well, if so, www.tommynationpolitics.com. That's my website for your hookup to every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard's live stream. We do free-thinking, innovative, truth-seeking go-through with all of my guests, whether they could be Green Party, whether they still are in the illusion of the duopoly system, the system that has enslaved us all, through a centralized banking system and debt. You go around other countries, everybody talks about how America's the greatest. Do you know other countries don't have debts? They don't have credit card debt. They don't have mortgages. They're not walking around every day wondering, is this the day I get sick? I could lose everything. Isn't that crazy? Yes, they're super poor. They're poorer than us, of course. They don't have big screen televisions. They don't have air conditioning units. But they do not have debt either. Isn't that crazy? It's something that you can think about when you're free-thinking, truth-seeking, and rebel with a cause. And this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics, guys, where we don't sip the Kool-Aid, we question who's pouring it. And you ever walked into an ice cream shop? I was just thinking about this today. With like 50 flavors. But every single one tastes like vanilla. That's the ballot box, folks. That's the illusion of choice. It's an illusion. It is a matrix pulled over your eyes to make you think that you're in control. In reality, you're not in control. It's theater, guys. They give us theater. They give us bread and circus. They give us debates, choreographed. Better than a Broadway musical. I have to say, even Jesus Christ Superstar. One of my favorites from Andrew Lloyd Webber. But, I mean, as much as the story is always exciting and gripping, I mean, there's always one thread to pull. And then, democracy is unraveled, guys. It's amazing. Isn't it always crazy how they keep us on the edge? This is literally the threat to democracy. This is the most important election of your lifetime. Always, guys. It's always the most important election of your lifetime. Isn't it crazy how even though it's the most important election of your lifetime, your life never fundamentally changes? You're still getting credit card debt galore. You're still achieving interest rates with those those transactions. I mean, life is priceless, but for everything else, there's MasterCard, right? I don't know. Does anybody want to talk about that? I want you guys to feel free to come out and be like, you know what? I followed the Democrat and Republican propaganda for so long, I forgot to think for myself. I forgot that I was an American with inalienable rights of life, liberty, and happiness. And we manifest our destinies, and we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty. Remember? Not these guys, not the Democrats and Republicans. They were never meant to do that. That's why they haven't. That's why they kick the can down the road until they don't need to. So they get Reelected over and over and over again. Same promises, same talking points. Does your life ever fundamentally change? Nope. Guys, are there some of you out there that can just admit that and just... Because I promise you, if you do, that's the first step. The first step to recovery, guys, is admitting you have a problem. Then it's showing how your life is unmanageable, guys. You know, the second step is just realizing your life is unmanageable as a partisan addict, right? You've been smoking these parties' propaganda for so long you forgot about all of our, the things we're supposed to do to make this country great. And that's why it's not anymore. Because we're not doing it. We've abdicated our duties. We've abdicated our birthright. And so is Congress, guys. Have you noticed that they're not codifying Roe v. Wade into law? Have you noticed they're not declaring war when it's their literal duty in Article 1, Section 8? They've given war resolution powers to a president. Our founding fathers would literally get a musket on these guys for that. They'd get a musket on these guys for so many things. The illusion's unraveling, isn't it? Like how these people are not our leaders. They're thieves. They're the biggest problems that we have. If we got rid of the Democrats and Republicans, guys, do you know that poverty would disappear? Because they wouldn't be controlling the free market. Did you know that the immigrants would stop coming in? Because we wouldn't be drone striking their families. Did you know that terrorism would cease to exist? Because nobody would say death to America because we wouldn't be causing devastation. We wouldn't be stealing resources and wealth from other countries and upsetting foreign governments with coups from our CIA. We wouldn't be setting up bases all around other countries to provoke a proxy war and then pay into that war to launder money to steal from the taxpayer because they're robbing us. These villains are the worst, most disgusting, tyrannical scum we have seen since King George III. They are the darkness. Lesser of two evil. They are the most evil. They're parasites, thieves, murderers, and filth. They're traitors to our country. Ted Cruz just the other day talked about how he was a traitor, how he came into the Congress just for Israel. These guys openly talk about how they betray the United States of America. So forgive me if I'm not too upset about the insurrection. I mean, the only thing that upsets me about the insurrection is the fact that they insurrected for a game show host. We have so much more to be insurrecting for. You choose a game show host. Why not your rights that were curtailed? Why not your civil liberties that were withheld? Why not your freedom and liberties that are on credit? Why not your wages that have not risen? No, a game show host. What a great reason to insurrect. But Thomas Jefferson said, guys, the tree of liberty shall be watered with the blood of tyrants and patriots, for it is its natural manure. And so the time has come to decide whether or not you guys are patriots or whether you're loyalists. There's always been two kinds of people in this country since the beginning. The patriots and the loyalists. Do you want to bend to the will of the conventional wisdom? Do you want to rebel? And say to King George, fuck your tea. They fucking rebelled for a tea tax, guys. Can you imagine? What's your line? What's your line, guys? I always want to know. We can talk about it if you want. If you guys want to talk to me, this is a multi-guest. Just request to come up. We can talk this out because we're Americans. We're supposed to have the common bonds that define us as Americans as inalienable rights of life, liberty, and happiness given to us by our Creator, and that no man shall take away. Which is why the government should not be doing death penalties because they don't have the right to take away life, liberty, and happiness from any American. Don't you understand, guys, how far you've let this go? You've let these guys go so far. I don't even remember where we started anymore. Do you remember where we started? We started with life, liberty, and happiness, didn't we? We started with freedom and manifest destiny. We started with a way, we planted our flag anywhere we wanted to, and we settled there with our families. Do you remember that? But now we just go along with the conventional wisdom and the social norms. Now we just call people criminals that are trying to make their way into a country that bombed their country and that enriched the cartels beyond all imagination. Did you know the immigration problem is our fault? Do you know the immigration is the fault of the tyrannical criminals that you vote for? So at the end of the day, guys, it's kind of your fault, isn't it? Because you're lazy, or you're afraid, or you're an addict. That's why I'm trying to... This is a time, guys, where I want all of us partisan addicts to just come up here, guys, and we're going to talk it out, okay? We're going to talk it out. We're going to bang this out. We're going to talk about why you're an addict. And you have a void inside of you. You think it's going to be filled by the sticker that says I voted on November. But really, what you're doing when you vote in November is you're contributing to mass murder. And you have to stop that, okay? It's not good for our country. It's not good for the world when you contribute to mass murder. I know you're afraid. I know you're worried about what your friends are going to think, what your status will be like with your peers. You know, maybe you guys make fun of a certain group together, you know, like the blacks or the groomer. You call people groomers. You just constantly say communism to everything that comes up. Maybe you guys like that shit, you know. But you know, maybe there's something better, guys. Maybe there's something else. Maybe there's America. I mean, how much is America worth to you? Is it worth your pride? Is it worth your status, your social status? How much is America worth to you? Instead of make America great again, I pose a question to you, all of these. I mean, you guys won the election, you right-wingers. If it was the other people, I would be talking to them. And don't get me wrong, the libtards are way, they're out there with the conceited arrogance. But you guys won the election, so now you're responsible for the fucking psychopath that is bombing people without Congress's authorization. So now it's your responsibility, guys. You can say MAGA all day long. MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. You know, I wish, guys. I really do. But I'm just like, my eyes are open. My eyes are open. So I can't just say MAGA like an idiot. Because if I'm going to say MAGA, I really want to mean MAGA. I don't want to mean Israel. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to mean gallivanting off into the Middle East to spill blood and treasure of the American taxpayer. That's not what I mean by MAGA. So when you guys say that to me, like, what do you even mean by that? Because you're still poor. Did you know that? Did you know that your kids still don't have access to healthcare? Did you know that? Did you know that? You know who has access to healthcare? Ukrainian people. You know that our leaders took our taxpayer money, they bundled it up and they shipped it off to Ukraine. We pay for their teachers, we pay for the healthcare, we pay for the military, and we pay for Zelensky. We do. He is staying in office without an election with our salary. We're salarying him. But you don't get any shit, because why would they give you anything when all you're going to do is walk around saying MAGA all day long, and you're not going to challenge them? You're not going to take your power back. You're not going to respect yourself and your brothers and sisters. You're not going to respect your history of rebellion. You're going to take a big boot, get your tongue out, and lick it till it's clean, right? That's all I can say. So whenever you guys say MAGA to me, all I can see is a big boot in your mouth. So is that what that means? I don't know, man. I would rather... Look, you can have your MAGA. You can have your boots, guys. I want my country, okay? Because you guys got to take for granted this whole equality thing. We had to work for it. My people had to work for this shit. And so we're going to get it, okay? You guys enjoy your boots. We sticking with the Constitution and life, liberty, and happiness. Liberty, 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 liberty. We're going to go that way. If you guys want to break off and just, like, get a giant boot, live in it, that'd be cool. Over there in Florida, nobody wants to be there. It's fucking humid as fuck. Y'all can even keep Disney World if you want. I don't give a shit. It's not that great. It's too expensive. So, and plus, I mean, Mickey Mouse, was he ever, like, not creepy? Mickey Mouse. Fucking cartoons were creepy as fuck. Anyways, but I'm just saying, like, so, here you guys are. Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to tell me about how you're MAGA? What are you proud of right now? Are you guys just, like, you're not proud, are you? You won the election because you hated Joe Biden. He took something away from you. You got it back, and now you're bored, right? You're just saying MAGA. There's no point to it, is there? It sucks. Fuck. Well, guys, when y'all are ready to actually make America great again, here's the secret. There's only one way to make America great again. It's not to be a bootlicker to Trump. There was one time when America was super great. It was at Lexington and Concord in 1775. And we all had a meeting together. And we talked about life, liberty, and happiness. We talked about rebelling because taxation without representation was not ideal for a free people. We talked about our values and principles, and we united. We united amongst the common bonds, and out of that, e pluribus unum, as out of many, one came to be. That's the only way you can make America great again, is e pluribus unum. There's no other way. There's no other way. There's no way I can make America great. There's no way you can make America great again. By yourselves. It takes us. It takes us, You know what I'm saying? You just gotta learn that. I don't know how many boots it's gonna take till you do, but I wish you the best, guys. If you guys don't wanna no, Jesus doesn't have anything to do with it, but he helps. He's not a bad guy. You guys gotta read. You guys, could you please read the Constitution too while you're at it, if you can? All right, talk to you later, guys.